Okay, so we're going to be working with this first set of questions 1 through 4 that use this diagram right here where you have a plane. This is plane R. As you can tell, it's got that lovely fancy script capital R identifying it as plane R. And we have two lines that are on that plane, this line here and this line here. We could call them line B and line A. They also have some other names. This other line is actually going through the plane. It's going from above and down through the plane as if, imagine that you have a desktop and this is sort of a pencil or something that pokes through the top of that and goes through. That's what this line C represents. Okay, so when we're looking at question 1, it says to name 2 points that are collinear to point K. So we're going to go to point K and we're looking for any 2 points that are on the same line. Since we don't have a second point on this line B that we could name, we're not going to use anything from that line. We do have 2 other points from this line A that we could use, and they are J and L, so you could say J and L. Additionally, line C has 2 other points that are identified that K is also on. So you could have said point M and N. Either of those 2 answers would work. So now let's move on to question 2. Give another name for line B. So we have here line B, which has 2 points that are named on it. So there's really only one way that we can name this other than to say that it is line B, and that is to say that it is line, and you do have to put the symbol above it, line, and then we would say HK. Line HK. If you don't have the symbol above those capital letters, then you are not naming it correctly. Okay, moving on to question 3. Name the intersection, that's where they cross, of line C and plane R. So that's line C right here, the one that is actually going through the plane from above. Remember how I talked about a pencil that somehow can go through? Let's talk about a piece of paper or something. It can go through. So the only place where they're touching is right here, which is point K. So that's where we are with that one. Okay, name a point non-coplanar. That means not on the same plane as plane R. Okay, non-coplanar, something that is not on plane R. So that could not be any of these points that are on the plane. It would have to be either the point M, which is above the plane on this line C, or point N, which is below the plane, which is on line C. So we're just going to say that we've got point M or N.